That's where that is. And we're now moving on to the trial of the year. Statistics state that it has been the most, or it's within the top 5 of the most watched trial since OJ. And I've watched most of it. I'd say I probably watch about 90% of it, because sometimes, when I'm on the road or whatever, depends on where I'm at and I can't get to watch it. But I would say I've watched 90% of it. So I'm going to do a trial recap. Y'all know the verdict. I'm just going to touch on the verdict a little bit, explain how the breakdown of the costs are, and, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation. I'll make you say, but I'm not say woman wicked. Human are just evil against them one another. So if y'all have a comment, anything on it, drop it in the comment section, because trust, this was just, yeah. So, verdict came down yesterday at about 3 o'clock. Johnny was successful in his petition against his ex-wife, Amber Heard. He sued Amber for defamation over the 2018 op-ed in the Washington Post. There were 3 claims in the lawsuit. Amber countersued Johnny for defamation over statements that his former lawyer made about her. So that was the basis for the trial. It was a 6-week trial. It actually went 7 weeks because there was a week in between break that the judge had to take. So some highlights of the trial I'll touch on briefly. While on the stand, Depp claims that Heard would instigate arguments and escalate their feuds. At the end of his 4-day testimony, when asked what he had lost due to Heard's op-ed in the Post, Depp answers and said nothing less than everything. Okay, so at the beginning of May, Amber Heard fired our PR crisis team, and apparently she'd been frustrated by the negative coverage she'd received following Depp's testimony. Heard's new team is led by David Shane. So during the first day of her testimony on May 4th, Heard paints a picture of a man who oscillated, yes, so that means to switch between. So a man who oscillated between active addiction and sobriety, which he said made it hard to continue the relationship. Heard alleges that while on a vacation with Depp in May 2013, he did a cavity search on her while looking for his cocaine. She describes other instances of alleged abuse, including the time Depp allegedly first hit her. On May 24th, Heard's team rests its case. Now, Depp's team asked Circuit Court Judge Penny Ascarati to dismiss Heard's countersuit, which was unsuccessful. On May 25th, Depp returns to the stand. He says it's insane to hear heinous accusations of violence, sexual violence that she's attributed to me, that she's accused me of. Depp says when asked about what it had been like to listen to Heard's testimony. I don't think anyone enjoys having to split themselves open and tell the truth, but there's times when one simply has to, because it's gotten out of control. Horrible, ridiculous, humiliating, ludicrous, painful, savage, unmanageably brutal, cruel, and all false. So after both parties had rest their case, Johnny was recalled to the stand to kind of rebut some of the things that Amber accused him of. And he came up, his psychiatrist came up, Muffin Lady, I can't remember her name now, Curtis, came up, and she refuted some of the claims by Heard's psychiatrist, Dr. Hughes. And then there's a guy, he does all the data stuff, and they call him Q-Man. He came up and rebut all the data science and stuff to say that what was said didn't affect Amber and all of that. So all of those people came up and they did a rebuttal. So because Johnny came up and was asked to rebut the claims against him as testified to by Amber, they decided to put Amber back on the stand. That was a disaster, because what happened was, when she initially went on the stands and she was questioned, and by both her attorney and Depp's attorney, and she said what she had to say and all of that stuff, the video depositions of her friends that were testifying on her behalf, none of her friends turned up in court to support her other than her sister. None of her friends turned up in court to testify in person. Everybody gave a video deposition. And most of those friends are all now ex-friends prior to the trial. And they've also stated that she somehow tried to reach out to them close to when the trial, close to when they were going to be giving their deposition, as if to influence what they would say during the deposition. So her friends came up and each person gave a different rendition or a different recollection of major events that Amber said would back up her stuff. So, when she decided to then get recalled, or when her lawyers decided to put her back on the stands, Depp's attorney now had ammunition to say, when you were here first, you said this, but then when this person came up and did this, said this, it didn't match with what you're saying. So that means either that person is a lie or this person is a lie. And, it was just horrible. Her being on the stands for a second time was not good at all. She's also claimed that she's getting death threats. She's also claimed that people are telling her to put her baby in a microwave. She's stating that, protecting the secret that I did for as long as I did is taking enough of her voice. She said Johnny is taking enough of her voice and her right to tell her story. She says she has the right to say what happened. She has a right as an American to talk about what happened to her, to own her story and her truth. So she also claimed First Amendment rights for the op-ed, that at one point she said she didn't write it and it wasn't about Johnny, and all she did was somebody else wrote it, she put her name to it, but she didn't write it. However, in her cross-examination on her rebuttal, 3 times the woman claimed to write it, and 3 times she claims it was about Johnny. So she not only perjured herself on trial, she lied, like perjury lie, like it was just horrible. It was horrible. So Kate Moss, she appeared via video live on Johnny's behalf, because Amber had claimed that Johnny had pushed Kate Moss down the stairs. So they brought Kate Moss to, tell what happened with that process. Well, for some reason, everything Jamaicans, salt, we know everything. So apparently, Kate and Johnny, while they were dating, were on a vacation in Jamaica. Kate was coming down the stairs, her foot slipped, she fell, and she explained what happened and whatever. So that's how Amber claims that Johnny pushed Kate Moss down the stairs. Now, the good thing about that was Amber's attorneys didn't cross Kate. So Johnny's attorneys were just able to ask her what happened. She stated what happened. Her testimony was probably maybe about 4 or 5 minutes. She was done. They let her go. There was a TMZ guy there, because the day that Amber went to file her TRO, her temporary restraining order, magically TMZ was there to capture when she was coming out of the courthouse with the TRO, with a bruise on her face, looking all, hurt and all of that stuff. So TMZ guy came. TMZ was trying to get out of not having the guy come to explain how they did their processing, what happened, and how they got, where they got the information and all of that stuff. But they lost that appeal, and the TMZ guy had to come and talk. And he stated that they got a call to be at the courthouse at a certain time, because she was going to be there filing for the TRO and looking bruised and all of that stuff. So he testified that they stood where they could get a good shot of the courthouse, and they took the picture. And they're saying that Amber literally posed for the picture while coming out of the courthouse with a TRO. So there was a whole little thing about that, because Amber's lawyers were stating that TMZ guy is in it for his 15 minutes of fame. TMZ guy says, I could say the same about you, because you took Amber's case, so you're looking for your 15 minutes of fame. So that was kind of an expression heard around the world because of the way it was stated. The manager for the trailer park, and when I say trailer park, it's an upscale trailer park, because I've seen a few of those trailer parks, and they have these multi-million-dollar mobile homes, and they're set up, and they've got pools and all of these. So it's not a little rinky-dink trailer park. So the manager for the trailer park in Hicksville, he also testified that he saw Amber being mostly aggressive to Johnny, and when Johnny was walking away from her and stuff, she's always calling him back, always getting him angry and all of that stuff. Again, Amber's lawyer stated that he's looking for his 15 minutes of fame and everything else. Amber said that there's no way, she doesn't know him, she's never met him, so he's lying, he wasn't there the night in question and all of that stuff. There's another girl by the name of Jennifer Howell. Now, Jennifer Howell used to be a friend of Amber's. She also used to be a friend of Amber's sister, Whitney Henriquez. Whitney's now married with two kids, but Whitney lived with Amber and Johnny for a while. However, it got to a point where Amber told Whitney to leave, and Whitney ended up staying with Jennifer Howell for, I think it was for a couple of weeks or a couple of months or whatever. And while there, Whitney told Jennifer how Amber was abusing her and all of these stuff. So the stuff that Whitney told Jennifer wrote about it in emails to Johnny's former lawyer, Waldman. However, that was not brought into testimony. But once the case was over and they were deliberating, I got a chance to read most of those things, because there was a couple of lawyers on LawTube that were reading them. So, she outlined all of this stuff, the different things that were happening, how Amber is always abusing Whitney and all the stuff. There's also video of people actually laughing at Whitney, stating that Whitney is always letting Amber beat her up. And, she's got bruises, black eyes and stuff from her fights with Amber. So it's been the part of the running theme of the defense for Amber's side is that everybody's looking their 15 minutes of fame. When she was asked why would Kate Moss come out and say, nothing happened, Johnny didn't abuse her and stuff, she said that everybody's looking, coming out of their woodworks, looking their 15 minutes of fame. And I'm like, what the hell? Kate Moss is looking at 15 minutes, like supermodel Kate Moss. She may not be as famous now, but supermodel Kate Moss looking for her 15 minutes of fame? Crazy. But, the trial went on. I listened to the tapes of what happened in Australia, and Australia was significant in the case because that's where Johnny lose the tip of his finger. Now, Amber's side was saying that Johnny in his drunken and drug out stupor, actually cut off his finger while being abusive to Amber. However, the tapes prove otherwise. The tapes, mostly, not legible, but people did, a couple of people did, the captions and stuff, so you could kind of follow along, and then it picked up a little bit where you could hear more. So, where Amber said that she was walking barefoot in glass, you could clearly hear that she had shoes on. There was stuff on there that where she is stating that she didn't mean to do it. Like, that was at the time when his finger was cut off. She was telling his then house manager and his then head of security that she didn't mean to do it. She threw the bottle at him, trashed the place. I mean, she even burned him in his face with cigarette. And that's all on tape. But it wasn't allowed to be brought in as evidence in the trial because one of the guy that's on there, one of Johnny's security guy, he died. So because he was not here and they couldn't bring it in, whatever, they would have had to cut out his part out of it and all of that stuff. They didn't bring it in. But like, to hear all the things that went on, to hear how she abused him, to hear how he's asking her to leave him alone, like to give him time to be calm, give him time to relax. No, she's needy. She wants it. No, why are you walking away from me? Or why won't you talk to me? Or why won't you come with me? And why won't you? And sometimes all he's asking is to be left alone, and she would not leave him alone. So it was like watching a movie, and at the same time you're feeling sorry for the parties, knowing that it's real life, because again, the abuse that was given. And abuse by any party is still abuse. Like, I don't care if the man abuse or the woman abuse. Like, it's not right on any level. But to abuse somebody and then turn around to stage the room or the setting to make it look like, that person abused you. Because one thing that they I don't think they introduced it in the trial, but the videos are out there, is the difference in the videos of the penthouse between the first time the police came and the second time the police came, all in the same day. So it's like the room was one way, the police came, didn't see anything, didn't see any bruise on her and all of that stuff, and they went away. They didn't file any charges, they didn't take anybody in, they went away. And there was some difference in the room by the time the second visit of the cops came, because they were still fighting and carrying on and stuff. So it's just, and I don't think anybody's saying that you have to have picture of your bruises when you're being abused, and you don't have to have audio or video of when you're being abused. However, in this instance, Amber has audio, video, pictures of most everything else except the major bruises that she claimed that she got. He slapped her in her face with his rings on. She doesn't have any picture of that. However, she might have had picture or video of just before that claim, or something that happened just before. or she may have videos or pictures of something that happens after, but she doesn't have any picture of it being, you know. She said she had bruises in her back too, and she had to go to a function. She had on a fully backless dress. Yes, makeup can cover some stuff, but how much stuff can makeup cover? And why did you not take pictures of those? Because you have pictures of everything else. Why not take pictures of those and to bolster your case? As me say, human evil. So anyway, 3 o'clock yesterday, verdict came down. For the three claims on Johnny's side, he was found to be in the right, and on one claim on Amber's side, she was found to be right. Kind of, sort of, but yeah. So the jury awarded Depp $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages. And the jury awarded her $12 million in compensatory damages and no money for punitive damages. Johnny had sought $50 million in damages and Heard had sought $100 million in damages. However, in the state of Virginia, punitive damages are capped at $350,000. So the $5 million that Johnny was given for punitive damages was reduced to $350,000. So in the end, it's $10,350,000 to Johnny and $2 million to Amber. So net to Johnny after everything is should be $8.3 million. The incident, the $2 million that they found for Amber is that they found that Depp through Waldman. So the statement that Johnny Depp's ex-lawyer Waldman made, they're stating that Waldman was acting as a representative of Johnny, as an agent of Johnny. So they're holding Johnny liable for that. So that's why they awarded $2 million in compensatory damages to Amber for that. So that case is over. Amber published her disappointment on her IG page, on her Twitter. Johnny published his, statement on IG. What I found not interesting, but I thought it was kind of odd that Johnny typed his statement. So his statement is actually typed on a typewriter, printed and posted, and I'm like, yeah. But this human being evil. So that's the end of that. I'll do a short clip on that as well, and that, that'll be separate on the YouTube channel as well. But that's Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. So we're going to go on to